Hello everyone, this is Dr. Leela. Today I'll be discussing on kinds and sources of working capital. Please do subscribe my channel. Kinds of working capital. Kinds of working capital, it categorized based on the concept and based on the time. Based on the concept, it is further classified into gross working capital and net working capital, and based on time, it is further classified into permanent working capital and temporary working capital. Concept based working capital. Under this, the first one is gross working capital. Gross working capital, it is also called as current capital or quantitative concept or circulating capital. Gross working capital. Gross working capital, it is always represented by the sum total of all the current assets of the organization. The current assets like inventories, cash, accounts receivable, debtors, etc. that can be converted into cash within an accounting year. The concept of gross working capital, it is based on going concern concept, which helps in providing the right amount of working capital at the right time, thus realizing the greatest return on its investment. Always investment in current assets should be adequate, because inadequate investment, it causes solvency problem, and every organization should maintain current assets in order to meet the day-to-day operations, and without current assets you cannot go for maximizing the sales and profit, because cash is generated through sales, which is possible with the investment in inputs. Then what are the inputs? The inputs like raw materials, consumables, labor, etc. Hence, working capital, it is necessary for acquiring the inputs. Therefore, working capital should focus on optimizing investment in current assets and financing of current assets. The second one is net working capital. Net working capital, it is also called as qualitative concept, and this concept, it is used for determining the ability of the concern and to meet the future needs. And net working capital, it refers to the difference between current assets and current liabilities. Net working capital can be positive or negative. If current assets are greater than the current liabilities, then it indicates that there is positive working capital in the organization, and if current assets are less than current liabilities, this is the indication that the company has negative working capital. Here, both gross working capital and net working capital are necessary for the organization, and any size of the current assets can be maintained by raising short-term debts. Therefore, if the firm maintains increase in net working capital, it is said to be sound. Here when I talk about the increase, here increase does not mean that net working capital is too high. Too high net working capital, it indicates that there is idle current assets in the organization, and idle current assets may be in the form of bad debts, unmoving inventories, etc. Therefore, net working capital, it focus on maintaining the liquidity position and to decide the extent of long-term capital in financing the current assets. And the second one is time-based working capital. Under time-based working capital, you have both permanent working capital and temporary working capital. Permanent working capital. Permanent working capital, it is also called as regular working capital. Here, regular working capital means it is the minimum investment which is kept in the form of raw material or work in progress or finished good or assembled goods and book debts. And permanent working capital, it facilitates uninterrupted operation of a firm. And investment is stable in the short run in the permanent working capital, and it varies in the long run because it depends upon the expansion programs of the organization. And therefore, permanent working capital can be defined as minimum level of current assets that are maintained in the organization. And the second one is temporary working capital. Temporary working capital, it is also called as variable working capital or fluctuating working capital. And you can define temporary working capital as maintaining additional current assets temporarily over and above the permanent working capital in order to satisfy the cyclical demands and to support the changing production and sales activities. And these additional working capital, it is required in order to meet the unforeseen events like seasonal production, floods, strike, price hike tendencies, etc. Sources of working capital. Financing of working capital is classified into permanent working capital sources and temporary working capital sources. Permanent working capital sources. Under this, the first one is share capital. Share capital, it constitutes the most important source of financing, and it is raised by a company either by issuing the equity shares or preference shares. When capital is raised by issue of preference shares, then this is called as preference share capital, and the advantage of preference share is it carries preference rights regarding the payment of dividend and repayment of capital at the time of winding up of the company. When capital is raised through issue of equity shares, then this is called as equity share capital, and equity share capital is also called as ordinary share capital, and equity shareholders are treated as real owners of the company. And the disadvantage of equity share capital is they do not enjoy the privileges that are enjoyed by the preference shareholders, but equity shareholders are entitled to voting rights as many as the number of shares they are holding. Equity share capitals, they are entitled to dividend only when the company earns profit, and the rate of the dividend on equity shares, it is not fixed. In case if the company suffers losses, equity shareholders are not entitled for the dividend. And the second one is retained earnings. Retained earnings, it is an important internal source of finance and most suitable for established firm. And retained earnings are used for financing its expansion, replacement, and for modernization. Retained earnings, it refers to the reinvestment of the surplus earning of the company, and it ensures stable dividend policies, and also it acts as good source of working capital. Debentures. Debentures are the loans that are taken by the company. Debenture holder is the creditor of the company and is entitled to a fixed rate of interest on the debenture amount. Payment of interest on debentures is the first charge against profit, and the firms issuing debentures may enjoy benefits like trading on equity, tax benefits, retention of control. The next one is public deposits. Public deposits, this was easy source of finance in the early stage of Indian industrial development, or you can say it as when modern banking facilities were not available. Public deposits, it's very simple, convenience, and it enjoys trading on equity and the tax benefit. And the disadvantage of public deposit is it is uncertain, inelastic, and it is unsound. Due to this disadvantage, RBI laid certain limits on public deposits. And the last one is loans from financial institutions. Loans from financial institutions is the source of finance that is suitable in order to meet the medium scale organization requirement for procurement of working capital. Here financial institutions includes like commercial banks, IFCI, all institutional banks, that is IFCI, IDBI, LIC, SFC, SIDC, and on these loans interest is paid at a fixed rate, and the amount of loan it is repaid in easy installments. The second source of working capital is variable working capital sources. Under this, you have commercial banks, indigenous bankers, trade credit, installment credit, and advances. The first one is commercial banks. Major portion of working capital loans are provided by the commercial banks, and they provide in the form of loan, in the form of cash credit, in the form of overdraft, or purchasing and discounting the bill. The first one is loans. Loans are granted for meeting the working capital requirement up to a period of 1 year, and they are granted to the company against some security. And borrower of these loans can repay the amount either in installment or in lump sum amount. The second one is overdraft. When current holders withdraw more than the balance to his credit up to a certain limit, then this is called as overdraft. Interest is charged on daily basis on overdrawn balance. The third one is purchasing and discounting bill. In this, banks lend money without any collateral security. Here, bank purchases bills payable on demand and credit the amount to the customer account by deducting the discount. On maturity date, what the bank will do, the bank presents the bill to its acceptor for the payment. And the next one is indigenous bankers. Indigenous bankers are the private money lenders and they give loans to meet the company's working capital requirement. Indigenous bankers, they charge very high rate of interest when we compare with the commercial banks. Trade credit. Trade credit, it plays an important role in providing the short-term finance, and trade credit is always flexible and convenient method of financing. Installment credit. Installment credit means purchasing assets and taking immediate possession of goods, but the payment is made in installment. So when possession of goods are taken and payments are made in installment, then this is called as installment credit. And advances. This is the short-term source of finance which is useful to the firms which have like long production cycle, and it is very cheapest source of finance. Advances includes the advances collected from customers, agents against orders. Thank you.